Hello and welcome. This is Diana, and you are watching Holistic Vibes, LifePath 33. And this is the 12-12 portal, right? I have been in like deep meditation and deep contemplation, and possibly you've been doing the same, right? Um, yeah, and I just spilled. Okay, so, you know, you could be going into the holiday season just kind of reflecting, right? Reflecting in your past, reflecting in your health, reflecting in your longevity, reflecting in like your life purpose, like the how you show up for people. It could very well be like, how am I stepping into divine flow in this process? Like, what do I need to do to show up to be the best version of myself as we proceed forward? It's kind of like the snake is shedding its last little bit of skin, right? Through that expansiveness, through that awareness, through that co-collaborative process of like becoming detached in the moment, no longer allowing yourself to follow a false narrative, right? Like there's a dissolving of like the exterior world, and you're stepping into like your divine truth of like what is like your like there's just this clarity of like how you hold space for people, how you allow them to process their own wounds, how you're honoring another person's journey, not impeding the perspective of what you see, right? It's like through the process of release and alignment, like you're then creating that butterfly effect, that ripple effect, right? Like you're allowing the divine to lead the process, and you're getting out of old wounds, right? Oh, they said it's upside down. You're releasing anything that has kept you out in a cold, out in an old paradigm, keeping you from stepping into your own divine faith, right? Like through the frequency of your own alignment, like there's also something happening within your solar plex of like hardship, of like not being seen, of feeling like you've been left behind. And that, can put you in a state where either you step into your inner resources, your own inner knowledge, like you step into a clear path of like, what track am I going to take as I proceed forward, right? And like through that cognitive awareness, like you are, like it's literally taking off. I don't know, but whatever you've been attempting to defend against, I don't know why they're showing me the Crusades. Um, it's kind of like the what brings you peace, what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. Like through the succession of like, yeah, of sorrow, of like the where you it's literally like the where you have been feeling like it's right here again. It's the where you've been feeling out in the cold, the where you feel like maybe you've had shadows chasing you, right? Maybe you have not been able to step into your own divinity, your own inner strength, your own inner divine. And maybe that's the journey in which you're recapping right now, right? Is like, how do you mm, truly pick your path, right? Like you are the creator of your own destiny. And it's like the minute that you decide that this is the foundational experience, right? uh Somebody can also be like kind of recapping their own journey and the people that they've had to leave out in the cold, out of their own inner strength, right? And through that divinity of like conscious creation, through the alignment of, it's like through the alignment of like you tapping into your solar plex. And it could very well be, if you've been, yeah, it's kind of wild. They're just saying like there is going to be a gift from somebody that is going to make it to where like your cup is feeling quite fulfilled. You know, there is no impediment, but you will in fact feel like a divine implementation in the path that you're proceeding with, right? Life path 3, life path. They're just saying like you could very well have been dealing with like lower pathway lessons, like lower life paths, right? Um, that actually pushed you into a state of like your own journey, your own alignment, right? You could be dealing with a life path 9, a life path 7, or a life path 3 is what I'm kind of like picking up on in the cards. Like, and the thing is like honoring the journey of expansiveness and expansion. Um, the how you have gotten to the where you've gotten, right? And it can be on the backs of others, but it's like, where is it that you have not been receiving the reciprocity, where you've been constantly pulling into somebody else's cup? And they're just kind of telling me like it's you can have friends that are married, and their husbands or their wives are not, they like lean into you. I'm going to put these back because I didn't really shuffle. I really want to know, like, what is this caregiver energy that the Empress needs to be in awareness of or in reflection of? Temperance and the Three of Swords again. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Okay, that's it. Yeah, there's definitely like, for those of you that have been in like stagnation or holding out and waiting, there is energy that is coming into full fruition. And that has to do with like, mm, again, connections. It's that being open to receive, the reconciliation, the understanding of friendship, the what it means to be provided for feminine energy, right? Like, because the more and more that you understand, we are so inverted as a society, where there are a lot of starlets, if you want to call them that, that are men masking as women. And it's interesting because very few women are masking as men. And again, there's a disassociation with what is sexually appealing, right? Trying to be manipulated in the masses. And the more and more that it comes out into the foresight, because fortunately, in the 80s, and in the 90s, they didn't doctor their pictures, right? They just dressed men up as women and they threw them out into the limelight. So if you go digging down that rabbit hole, and maybe that's something that you're going to want to do, I don't know how that has to do with friendship. But you're gonna know that, right? Like, either you have a friend who goes down the conspiracy rabbit holes with you, like the red string of fate, um, or the binding to a soul that's not in a body, right? Or the calling into like divinity and divine angelic interference, but it's not interference. It's like it's a desire to have God step in, right? For you to step into your own divinity, for you to understand that certain things used to walk the planet, but they no longer walk the planet any longer, right? The separation of the energetic source, what has been controlling your thoughts, your impediments. And a lot of people don't quite realize that, like, and I don't know why, sorry guys, I don't know why this is coming up, but there's a lot of internal manipulation. That once you start digging and you start saying, oh, well, let me look and see like what music I have that has an homage to Satan, or it's bathed in light or in red light, where they're doing spell casting, where they're doing witchery, and these spells and these incantations, as the collective consciousness becomes more and more aware of like the impediments, the isolations, it's like the separation, it's the us against them, it's the division in purpose, right? And these things are like being cut away in the etheric realm. Like, you're literally, I don't know what you did, like through the hardship and the loss and the negativity, if you leaned harder into, this is my cup, I am a fucking tiger, I am going to fill up my own cup, I'm going to balance my own scales, I'm going to sing my own song, and those people that are attracted to me will come to me, right? It's that flipping the script and understanding that you are the conscious creator, and that truth is truth and everything else is a lie. And those that are impeding the truth have to do it right in front of you. They have to tell you what they're doing, or else they can't feed on the energy, right? You have to tell them what gateway is open and what is closed. And it's like, maybe you need to work with Archangel Zachiel, and ask, for that expansiveness, ask for that clearing away, ask for that paradigm shift, like, ask for all impediments and all blocks to be fully released and taken away. And, through that shift comes the release and transformation of the past. Closing words, please. Yeah, there will be justice and strength. I mean, like, honestly, like, come on. It's okay. So, like, you literally have, I mean, I think I wanted one. So that's great. So it's strength, the three of Michaels. I don't know why the devil wanted to get flipped upside down. Um, but yeah, it comes through you taking a leap of faith, being in a state of devotion, being in a state of maturity, allowing yourself to truly be set free. And then, I read this article probably about like a week or two ago about like the power of thank you. Like, as you are doing things in your home, as you are in a state of alignment, as you are in a state of release, just say thank you. As the sun hits your face, you just say thank you. And anything that is coming up, if it happens to be negative, like, instantaneously switch it, listen to your heart, and say thank you. And step into the divinity and the power of love. Mm, even though it may feel like you want to quit, right? Even though it doesn't feel like the scales are balancing, even though you do feel like you're out in the cold, even though you feel like you have bad luck, even though you feel like you have poverty, even though you think you have struggles, even though you think the world is against you and you're out in the cold, right? That you have financial losses. Like, come into a state of being and say thank you, and allow the violet flame to entirely engulf all of your aura and just say thank you. And whether or not you do, and it's interesting because they shouldn't be over here blowing and they're over here blowing. So there's something to that, right? But as you go through and you release and reactivate like your highest timeline, and you release the wounds, you release the bouts of situations where you should have trusted people, or you did trust people and they burned you, right? And like through the I surrender, through the opening of like God's will be done, so mote be, as you have a desire in your heart of like what it is you truly want, what you truly love, what is your truest form of expansiveness, of your highest timeline, of your cognitive awareness. God is going to start opening up the doors and the pathways and the people. And you are going to see in your lifetime where the people who stood against you because of your light, because of your higher purpose, because of the things that you're set out in this life to do, that they were attempting to impede because they had attachments to dark energies, you're going to start seeing these people fall one by one. They are like, this is like a crowning pivot for like the way the energy will start moving. So instead of taking vengeance, or instead of holding on to anger or resentment or frustration, say, you know what, God, if this is your highest and best will for me, then so mote be. Like, allow me to step into my highest timeline, into my highest purpose. I'm done with the lessons, right? And when you say it out loud and you pray it and you speak it and you get on your knees and you just say, I surrender, do with me what you will. Open the gateways. Like literally your gate will open. Literally, like whatever has been waiting in the wings for you, whether it is like you working on your gifts, whether it is you having a great job and having financial abundance, whether it is you starting a new endeavor and getting involved in a movement, in a pathway, in a it's like this major shift of bliss and joy and peace and exhilaration, and like the opening that like you are divinely connected, right? And ask God, like through your meditations, I don't know, maybe some of you are going to be called to fast, right? I just got done doing a 3-day fast. I'm doing a break and then I'm going to jump back into another 3-day fast. And like as you fast, like ask God to surrender and release those hard outer shells in that onion that you have, and peel those things away. Ask that like the blocks, the impediments, the defense mechanisms be surrendered so that you can truly walk in it's an unimpeded, unencumbered heart center. Because like you're like, for some of you out there, like you guys don't realize like the whole like mission for the entities that have been impeding you and have been coming after you, those entities had one mission: to keep your heart center muted, to keep your field muted, to make it to where you cannot manifest, to where you're only manifesting out of a state of fight or flight, right? Which is angst, which is I'm going to grab the next best thing I see. And like they just said, the time is over. And it's like, as you claim your own divinity, your own sovereignty, your own like ability to create, like nothing and no one can overcome like your energetic frequency to the creator. You guys are divinely connected directly to God, right? You don't have to go through the middleman. You go directly to the source, because that is what being a 33 is. Like when you step into your ascended master position, when you understand like that you are light, that you are dark, that you are calm, that you are peace, but that you are also chaos and you're a tornado walking, right? You are the complexities of all things. And one thing I can say is like with this energy, like as you're proceeding forward, like continue to claim your sovereignty, to continue to ask that you are being cleared, continue to ask that God intervene and bring to you what is truly meant for you. For those of you that are single, you do have a red string that is divinely connected to your counterpart, and that is another 33. Remember, because your frequencies are so powerful. And when a 33 aligns with another 33, yeah, you got to go through your karmic shit. That's part of the process, right? You got your lessons that you have to release. And think every time, look at the horoscope as a incarnation cycle, right? So you got to start at 1, you got to go through that entire wheel, and then you got to go to 2, and then you got to go through that entire wheel. So you have incarnated, and then if you have to repeat those lessons, you had to do it over and over and over, the same lesson. And so as you're clearing the karma, so is your counterpart. And as you're stepping into your divine pathway, so is your counterpart. Like, you are pulling the cord, and I would say, venture to say, probably like 90% of like those that are in true divine partnership, the female always is the one who knows earlier than the male. It's just what happens. And they're just saying, like, for those of you that need a heart awakening, maybe work with Metatron, Enoch, to ask for a rebirth of your heart center, right? A recalibration of your heart chakra. You can ask for divine alignment to your highest timeline. You can also ask for the download and the highest timeline of like, they're just telling me it's Yeshua. So Jesus, he was the highest vibrational energy to walk the planet and have full awareness of his auric field, in all divinity, right? And he was able, because of his ranking within the creator, to actually, they just said pontificate. I don't know what that is. Maybe like a recreation of sorts of how to heal the aura. It's kind of like when you have a vision of what a person's been holding on to, right? If you just say, God, show me, release the veils of illusion and show me where is the stuck energy being held in the body and what is anchoring and holding it to the body, right? And like through that calibration, through that understanding, you're going to start getting pictures, right? And you probably will not instantaneously know what you're supposed to do with it, but it's going to give you that clarity of like clearing and removing your aura.